We are honored to be joined by the president of the NJEA, Marie Blistan. Marie, you taught for a few years?
Yeah, well over 30 years.
Where?
Yep. I taught in Summerdale in Camden County. I taught in Sterling High School, and then I went over to Washington Township in Gloucester County.
Why'd you get into teaching?
To help students. When I was in high school, I found that I loved history, social studies, and I loved the Spanish language, neither of which I'm certified in today.
Is that right?
But I loved it, and I started to think about going into teaching because I liked my teachers. And then a student from Italy came over into our high school, and I did not speak Italian, but he spoke no English, and he was struggling, and one of my teachers asked me, out of the blue, if I would help him. And I did, and I found I loved it. And when I got into college, and I went to Camden County College, I'm a proud graduate of the county colleges, I worked, and I got introduced in the summertime to students who were physically, emotionally, and psychologically challenged. It was called Camp Happy Times, and it was right in Atco, New Jersey. And I fell in love with those kids. And I switched immediately to stop thinking about teaching history and Spanish and teaching children, those children who I thought needed me most.
You know, fast forward a little bit.
Yep.
As the president
Yes.
of this organization with, I believe, 200,000
Yes.
members,
Yes.
describe that responsibility.
It's huge. It's not just 200,000 members, it is 200,000 families. It's over 1 million children in our public schools, and it's their families. That's the responsibility I look at.
Is it personal for you?
Very personal, yes.
Why? How?
It's a passion. I truly believe that there is no greater profession in this world, on this earth, except for being a parent. Because of the impact that we have, the opportunity that we have to help shape someone's life, to make it better, and to make the world better. You know, often our members, we don't really see the fruits of our labor. We see them during that year, or even during if they're K-8 or through the high school. But they go on into life and into society, and they become and do all kinds of great things.
You know, the NJEA is such a powerful force. I was talking to your executive director, Ed Richardson,
Yes.
about this. Being involved in the political process is a necessity for the NJEA?
Absolutely.
Make the case.
Well, we are public employees, and as public employees, we depend on public funds, and those public funds are overseen by elected officials. And we need to make sure that we are the priority. Again, because I don't think that there is any greater charge in this earth than working with children and providing for them.
There'll be a new governor.
Yes.
Well, this show will be seen as we move into 2018. Phil Murphy will be the governor of the great state of New Jersey. You say what to that?
I say we are thrilled. He has come to us.
He was here at the convention.
He was here at the convention this morning. He thanked us. He talked about the great things that he was going to do because he knows that public education is the cornerstone of this democracy, of this country, and of this state.
Number one issue in 2018 from your perspective, on behalf of the teachers, the educators, public school educators in the state would be?
Well, I think first we have to make sure that we recognize it's not just teachers. 200,000 employees of our support professionals are as equal to us as the certified and the active, and don't forget our retirees. We have almost 30,000 of our retirees. So all the issues that affect them and public education will be number one.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to say, Phil noted in his remarks this morning.
You're on a first name basis with the governor, I just want to say that.
Certainly, yes I am, yes I am. And I am proud to call him ambassador and now governor-elect, let me tell you. He noted that school funding was going to be right at the top of his list, and I absolutely support that. We've been underfunded over $9 billion, and that has a residual effect, not just in our classrooms, in our schools. When I saw arts programs cut, when I saw physical education cut, when I go into buildings, Stephen, I don't see a school nurse in every single building. I am upset, I'm bothered when I see school facilities that have been underfunded and are falling apart. That is just unacceptable.
Because of economics.
Because of, absolutely. So when he puts that down as number one, $9 billion over these many years that it's been underfunded, I absolutely support him because I know that there are going to be a lot of residuals that are going to be seen right into our classrooms, our school buses, our cafeterias.
Let me ask you about morale of teachers. I'm curious about this. I mean, the teachers that we interact with in the public schools in Montclair, thank you, by the way, for everything you've done for our children. Unless I'm not reading it right, they pretty much seem upbeat, positive, love their job, but I know that can't be the totality of the profession. How do you fight against, dare I call it, teacher burnout?
Well, there are a lot of reasons for teacher burnout, and it comes down again to whether we're holding the profession as a priority in our community and in our state. Do they have the resources they need to get through the day? And I think, again, over the last 8 years, the attacks that we have been under, verbal attacks, attacks that were physical in that they withheld funding for our public schools, it starts to wear and tear on our members.
Excuse me, how about standardized tests?
Yes.
Add to it? No.
Add to it?
It does?
No, it's overused and it's abused.
Meaning add to the frustration for some teachers?
Yeah, absolutely.
Explain that to folks.
Because, look, again, I've been in the classroom well over 30 years. I've had kindergarten through 12th grade students over that time. There is absolutely a need and a place for standardized testing and for regular testing. What is the place? The place is to measure a student where he or she is at that moment in time, and then to use it diagnostically to see what else we need to do to move that student forward. It has taken a far right turn or a turn overused and misused, right? It's not the sum total of a student. We're not measuring on a standardized test a student's ability to play music or to draw art.
What are we measuring through these tests?
We are measuring,
in your opinion?
Well, we are not measuring students' learning on that test. That much I will tell you. That much I will
And so
tell you.
what message is there for parents like myself, my wife? Like, we say, okay, you got to take the test. You got to get ready for the test.
Yeah. Well, that's why
it's got to be done. It's the law.
Well, until we change the law, right? Until we get legislators in place who understand what the place is of testing and are there to support this profession and to support their children.
But you're saying it's really not the best way to measure where our own kids, students, children are.
If it's being used as the only way, it is wrong. It is downright wrong. That's correct.
How much you love what you do as the president of the NJEA?
Steve, I am a teacher. My parents I was the only female in my family that went to college, that went to 4 years, got a master's degree. I was the first female in my family. My father came from an immigrant family over from Italy, so they were very, very proud of my teaching career. And whenever anyone asks what I do, the first thing I say is I'm a teacher. And I am equally as proud to represent the members in this profession and to be the president of the association. But I will also tell you that I teach every single day.
Thank you for having us here.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by Wells Fargo, Caldwell University, Hackensack Meridian Health, New Jersey Sharing Network, Community Food Bank of New Jersey, the Northward Center, and by NJM Insurance Group. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.